And now for our last speaker, it's really my great pleasure to introduce Gwyneth Galbraith. Gwyneth is a vice president of global philanthropy at JPMorgan Chase, where she helps lead strategic initiatives to accelerate business growth for underserved entrepreneurs. Prior to joining JPMorgan Chase a year ago, Gwyneth spent 25 years working in strategy, development, and communications roles focused on community and economic development, financial inclusion, and education. Gwyneth holds a BA from the University of Pennsylvania, which I heard somebody rather admiring earlier today, and an MBA from UC Berkeley. Proud to live in Berkeley, a hotbed of employee ownership. So Gwyneth, welcome, and Mike is all yours.
Thank you. When Sarah did the closing remarks yesterday, she noted that she was all that stood between the audience and the end of the day. And I'm in the same position, but I'm all that stands between you and drinks on the really beautiful rooftop bar, or rooftop lounge, so I'm going to try and keep this quick. This has been such an interesting and engaging 2 days. I want to start by just saying thank you to all the panelists and the participants, and especially the companies who came and shared their stories. It's been such interesting, thoughtful, informative, and really inspiring series of conversations. I also want to thank Rutgers and the Aspen Institute. JPMorgan Chase has a long-standing relationship and partnership with the Aspen Institute, but we're new to coming and being in the room in the conversation around employee ownership, so it's really a privilege to be here with you. However, we're not new to employee ownership. Earlier today, somebody asked, so where are all the big banks? And my colleague, Regina Carls, who leads our ESOP advisory group, noted that JPMorgan Chase actually has the oldest and largest dedicated ESOP group among banks. It's been around for 17 years and has done more than $5 billion in transactions. So this is something that is very important to our work around business growth and entrepreneurship. And that volume has been growing every year, which is really exciting. But we see employee ownership as part of a larger issue of succession planning. We've talked a lot about the silver tsunami, the fact that the majority of small business owners don't have a succession plan, often because they don't have access to the advising, the resources, the professional networks, and frankly, just the capacity to put one in place. And we feel very strongly that succession planning is a key component of business growth and continuity, and the earlier you start, the better off you are, and that employee ownership can and should be a critical component of succession planning. And that's why we're really proud to be supporting some of the leaders in the field who are here today, so Project Equity and Ownership Works and EOX and the Lafayette Square Institute. Did I get that right? Yeah, okay. And I'm really excited to be able to be part of this employee ownership conversation. You know, over the past 2 days, there's been a number of themes that have come up again and again. The importance of employee ownership in rural communities and preserving jobs and creating opportunity in those communities. Innovations around things like equity compensation and holding companies and caregiver co-ops. And the impact through building a culture of ownership, a culture of agency, in addition to the wealth building opportunities that I think I come away with so much of a deeper understanding when people are talking about creating millionaires. The thing that I really want to call out, though, is just the sense of momentum. There's on the policy side, there's so much activity. On the innovation side, there's so much activity in financing and programming, and there just seems to be an increase in awareness. So just EO is popping up in different places, and as a proud alum of UC Berkeley, when UC Berkeley played Texas Tech at the football bowl last December, it was the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana. Cal lost miserably, but employee ownership got its moment in the spotlight at a sporting event. For me, I first learned about employee ownership over 20 years ago. I was working as a development director in what was then a very small CDFI based in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I was writing a grant report, and I got to include a story of a borrower. And it was a loan that had gone to Emma's Eco Clean, which was a co-op, a worker co-op of Latina housekeepers who would come together with support from Wages, now Prospera, a really wonderful organization that supports worker co-ops. And they come together to create better jobs for themselves. So it's really exciting, and I feel very privileged to be here many, many years later, wearing a different hat, to be able to share JPMorgan Chase's real commitment to increasing access to and raising awareness of employee ownership in partnership with all of you. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for having me here. Class dismissed. Or maybe not quite.
Thanks so much. That was great. So I just want to say a brief thank you to all of you for being here and for all of your engagement. I do think that this is a really exciting moment, so thank you for closing with that, Gwyneth. I also have to re-up the phone question. There is still this missing Samsung phone, so if you've picked up an extra Samsung phone, you find out it's not yours, please let us know. We are still trying to recover the phone. I also just want to close the way I opened yesterday with some very deep and heartfelt thanks, both to our partners at Rutgers, and I will again name the sort of Rutgers team, Jack Moriarty, Adria Sharp, Melissa Hoover, Chris Michaels, and Bethany Dennis, who did so much work. And my huge thanks to my team here at Aspen. You've gotten to meet them all. You've gotten to figure out how amazing they are. Matt Helmer, Merritt Steuven, Tony Mastria, Nora Heffernan, Maxwell Johnson, Francis Almodovar, and Joy Moore. You've probably gotten to meet also some of our Aspen AV folks around and some other colleagues. And so I'm just so grateful. It takes so much work from so many people to manage these events. Super grateful to all of them. So if we could give them all a round of applause. Okay, and now I guess I get to invite you all upstairs to join us for a reception. Thank you all so much.